second button. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. Today we have a special guest with Heather, Indigo Jaguar, Intuitive Arts. Yay! Thank you for
let me
joining
fix this
us.
window. It's just like I'm being split down the front here. Oh my.
Hi, Lisa Rhodes. How are you today?
Hopefully
Thanks for
better.
joining
There we
us.
go. Hey, Lisa.
We're going to talk about talismans, only you can't see ours because they're so little. Oh, well.
Well, some of mine aren't very big either.
Yeah, but you can get closer to your camera, so that's cool. Let's go with what you've got. And of course, we got to do cards before we start anything.
Oh, do we?
Of course we do.
We usually don't. Okay. We will.
We don't usually start with cards?
Not when a guest.
You don't mind if we start with cards, do you?
I love the cards.
I do too.
Okay.
Why don't you do a spread for what we need to know right now?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Each of why don't you
we'll find out what,
it?
Yeah, we'll both do it because we don't have a card cam, so I'll just.
Yeah, we don't have a card cam today because we're on StreamYard. Hi, Gypsy T. Welcome. Let's get this out of the way.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Rhodes. Livy says hi. Hi to Livy. Okay, let's see.
So, card for the collector.
Okay, that's really strange because I'm not even seeing you are. That's good. So we're just going to pull a card for the day, see what we need to know for the day. I mean, a little spread.
That's okay. Card for the day is fine.
No, she's doing a spread too, right?
Just one? I usually pull three. That's where the energy.
Okay, we'll pull three.
Sorry about that.
It's me.
You guys, can you tell us how Heather's sound sounds to you, please, in the chat?
Because it sounds weird here, but we don't know how to fix it.
It seems to be very gravelly on this end for us. So do you guys
I'm channeling my inner Sherry H.
Yes, your gravelly voice.
Much later.
Perfect.
I love that voice. That'd be a great singing voice.
Wouldn't it?
Ah.
You're the guest. Let's see what your three cards are.
Okay, and this is amazing because just before I come to in with you ladies, Sun Psychic Jean's guest was talking about witnessing one of her chrysalis, one of her butterflies come out of its chrysalis and how beautiful it was. And that's the first card that I just got.
So interesting. Soul retrieval.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So of course, you know, it's about transitioning, you know, moving from one state to the other, blossoming into who you are. The counsel for me on this is like your spirit guides, your ancestors, your families, and with the soul retrieval too, this could also represent healing ancestral lines.
Yes.
And traumas and things, and not just for them, but for yourself as well. And the perfect card to end is the Ancient Ones. So you're connecting with, you know, past lives, karmas, ancestors, and just bring it all into this lifetime and retrieving what will serve you to move forward in this life, and healing and letting go of what no longer serves you from the past.
Brilliant.
So
cool.
You know, I think that's coming with the full. I think that's about the full moon coming up.
Yeah, and
we have a full moon and a lunar on the same day.
Exactly.
At the same time almost.
And the cards that I pulled were, we are the fairy magic. Now you can't see it because of the background here, but this card is the fairy magic card, and we, everybody here, we're the fairy magic. And what we have been is manifesting. Again, you can't see the card from.
Oh, so disappointing.
Yeah, because we don't have the right camera. But from there, what they're saying is all that, because we are the fairy magic and we are manifesting, we're becoming very powerful. Yeah. Very powerful.
That works. Both of those readings.
And Gypsy T says, I am staticky, so maybe I should sit I'll talk, and then when I have a talisman, I'll move forward and show, so that when I'm talking, I'm back
That's
here. And of course, he heard me talking to somebody at the table, and he had to come and say hello. So
Hey, Warrior
don't
Girl,
mind this.
welcome. Thanks for letting us know.
Hi,
Yeah,
Warrior
it's
Girl.
staticky.
Yeah, the further back you sit, the better it is. For whatever reason, the universe
Go away,
decided
Mother,
to
go
do
away.
this
They
for
want
you
you to be.
today.
I think they want you to be able to back there where all your talismans are, and that way you can explain them, and everybody's going to know what you're saying.
Well, that I have what's back there, what I have on my table. So you have to move, little man. Mommy can't do this with you sitting on her lap. So let's move you over here. Go on.
All of our animals want to be in our rooms when we're doing this. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but they all want to be in here.
I think they like the energy.
I do too.
The energy and the attention are like, oh, you're giving somebody else attention right now? Well,
How
then
dare you?
Where's mine? Yes, exactly.
So does everybody know what a talisman is? Do you know? Do you want to explain what a talisman is?
I've got my notes right here. So, talismans and power, well, they're also known as power objects, charms, totems, amulets.
I can't read
And
anything.
the typical.
Don't worry about me. Go ahead.
I thought you said you couldn't hear
No,
anything.
I
else, but maybe
couldn't
should
read
move
what
a
she
little
was
bit.
showing me.
Okay. So basically, from a magic point of view, I'm trying to see how far back I can step into this because, okay,
I got it.
when you hear the word magic, you automatically think of movies, magic as being, Harry Potter, things you see on Hollywood where, something, comes alive, it does this or that, and you actually see. So there's magic and there's magic. And for a lot of my traditional upbringing, learning about, spiritual objects and doing, nature magic, things like this. Objects can be, you can be imbued, can be blessed, it can be consecrated.
Can I interrupt you for just a minute?
You want to see this?
Sure.
Speaking of magic. And then she says,
There was
I rewound it, and yes, it was huge with feathers. I can't wait to
No.
rewind. That is so cool.
Me too. You can't sit here. Okay, no. I'm sorry. He hasn't bothered me all day. He
Of
wanted
course.
nothing to do with it.
That's the way it is.
So to start out with, now this for me, this is considered for me as this is one of my I don't say power objects, my totems, my talismans. It's something that Shan would find these when he was working, and they're in the shape of a heart.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little heart.
That's nice.
And so the minute I see that and he gives that to me, I feel the energy from it. It's a heart. He found it. He thought of me. He put his love and his intention to give that to me.
Beautiful.
That's great.
So that's a type of talisman. A lot of times when you see books, talismans are going to be like, and they can be used for, let's say if you need to do a money spell, a prosperity spell, abundance. You could grab any object that you feel connected to or would represent the image or the energy that would be associated with prosperity. Like with crystals, I have several here. I have green stones. People would use green stones.
Jade.
Bay leaves.
Jade's always good for a green for money.
Bay leaves are good too for doing
We should be
spell
rolling
book
in it.
talisman work.
Remember that pound of bay leaves I bought?
Yeah.
I bought a pound of bay leaves.
Wow.
It was this enormous sack like this.
Still using
And
it.
we'll be using them for the rest of our lives. I had no idea how much it was.
Oh, they're good for all different types of prosperity spells, and if you write on one, you can burn them for releasing like negative energies around
That's what
you,
we use them for.
attachments, or things like that.
Soothes and
So
releasing negative energy.
Yeah.
What more can you ask
there we go.
for?
We like to
Another
take the
thing
bigger
too,
A
leaves and
well-rounded earth.
write things on them and burn them.
and you can put them in that, or you can also infuse it in your food as well.
Mhm.
So, when people say, well, grandma would cook, oh, it would taste so good. And you're like, well, my mom makes the same thing the same way grandma, but grandma makes it taste. Sometimes it might be that's that grandma love.
Love.
So whatever type of energies, you always have to be mindful of where you are at energetically. So, because these are just objects. They're, a crystal. It could be, like for me, one of mine is this here now. From what I understand, this is a type of ring that I believe Mormons use. A teacher of mine that I love very dearly, she was my mentor for many years in college, gave this to me. And I just smiled and let her give it to me because it was her way of saying, here, when you see this, basically think of me and be strong. And so for me, I keep this around me in my studio because it represents my love that I have for her and what she meant to me in my life. So basically with talismans and amulets, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that traditionally talismans were for putting energy in to bring things to you, positive things. Amulets were to basically, like the third, like those eye pendants and things that you see to ward off the evil eye, things like that. Amulets were generally for keeping for protection, keeping enemies away, and this has been going on for, thousands of years. So these can be all traced back to early civilizations, Sumerian, Egyptian, you name it, Romans,
Sure.
the Celts. Everybody around the world had some form of symbol or object. It can be anything that you are, you completely connect to. So, but what got me going with the talismans, and I don't know if the viewers, I can't remember when you did the live for talismans, is that I had come across an article, not come across, it's a newsletter that I get. It's called the Daily Om, and they send these wonderful everyday things about mindfulness or connecting with this, or yoga, things of a very holistic, metaphysical nature.
I took that for
Also
years. I don't know
medicinal,
why I don't get it.
medical. And so the Daily Om popped in one day, an article on talismans, and they actually showed a young woman for the picture holding a quartz crystal. This is my big one that I got from Sedona. And so even in this, they're showing you that it could be a simple object, a crystal. Right. It could be something made out of paper. It could be like a piece of artwork, your child's artwork, because they put their love into it. And it's, when you put it on the fridge, you feel that love. So the article with the talisman, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then when the ladies are interested in the subject, I was like, why not talismans? Because I didn't think you had covered it before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And am I stay far back enough? I'm still audible enough? Okay.
For the most part,
so
yeah.
Okay, so
I'm understanding you, and I'm have hearing aids, so we're good.
Okay.
Yay.
Yay. So I pulled up that article and I just jotted down a few things from that article. And then I wanted to go for what I was sharing with Priscilla and Heather yesterday for one of my books. So it says, having a talisman imbued with your intention is a tool you can use to assist you in your journey. And I love how they say your journey, your life journey, spiritual journey, everything that involves your journey on this earth walk. They bring peace and solace. It's important to remember to cleanse and consecrate them through ritual. And when I say ritual, it doesn't mean that having to do, because a lot of times when people hear ritual for the first time, they're going to think, unfortunately,
church and how complicated.
Animal, human, negativity, that kind of thing. But ritual is anything that you do that brings you peace. It's like maybe lighting a candle to calm you if you're having anxiety, or you go to put your tarts and you smell that and you feel that calm. That's a ritual. Taking a bath, when you go to church and you light the candles, you say a prayer. You're putting that energy and intent into that
That's
candle
right.
as you're lighting it, and you're releasing that because it's burning to send your prayer up to God. So that's basically any type of small ritual. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could just be like, let's say this was a gift, and I'm like, okay, it's like I really need help with my anxiety right now, and I would look at the stone and just think, okay, when I see you or I hold you, I'm going to feel peace. My anxiety level is going to come down. I'm going to be connected with my higher source, my higher power, whatever that might be. Um, so basically, the word consecrating means to make or declare something sacred. It's like making a pledge, devoting that energy, with that crystal, making that beautiful connection with it. It's kind of like what we were talking about, with twin flames yesterday.
Right.
It's not the same, but you're still creating that energetic bond with that object.
Yeah.
And what I want to go over now too is that even though objects, if we place or focus our energies into them, we have to make sure that we remember that the energy in them came from us first.
Absolutely.
We are our source. We are a walking talisman. Whatever it is that we bring into our bodies, what we choose to put ourselves around, what energetically feeds us and physically as well. And that's where, I came across this that I wanted to share. And I got a couple of little passages highlighted. And it says, it isn't wise to put our hopes, dreams, and energies into physical objects. And remember, this is about balance too. What I love about Scott is that he's very proactive, as in, anything that you do spiritually, whether it's ritual, if it's magic, or whatever it is that you do, it comes from a place of love and respect and connection to the divinity, to the light. So he's kind of playing the devil's advocate here. And I like that because he makes a really good point. This is a limitation, a direct product of the materialism fostered upon us all of our lives.
Yeah.
It is easy to say I can't do a thing since I've lost my lucky moonstone necklace. It's also tempting to think nothing's gone right since my ring disappeared. So what isn't easy to see is that all the power and luck we need is within ourselves. It isn't wrapped up in an exterior object unless we allow it to be. If we do this, we leave ourselves open to losing that part of our personal power and good fortune. He said, something I won't willingly do. So he's not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing to have a talisman or a amulet, but to remember that it's just the object itself. It does not do anything. All that power comes from with you. It's a beautiful reminder.
It is a good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
So that when, but if you're in the middle of something or something's not going right and you don't
I
have
have a
that,
really
you
good
misplace it.
example of that. I had
Go for it.
I had a money tree that I put incense in, and one morning I woke up and the tree was smoking. It was literally on fire on our back deck. The roots. It had the soil obviously didn't have a lot of soil. It was very little dirt and a lot of woody stuff. And Heather found it. Anyway, so I thought it was dead, and Heather said, "No, you need to repot it." I'm like, "Dude, this is at the roots. This is not going to live." She said, "No, repot it." So I did, and I put it in a corner, and it's now absolutely enormous. And so since it was a money tree, I said, "As you blossom, so does my bank account." And then I thought, wait a minute, that's probably a really bad idea, because when it dies, I don't need my bank account to die too. So that's a perfect reason why you do not put that in your brain.
But you don't want to put that thought into your mind either.
No.
But it's good to do that because a lot of prosperity. I just recently had a friend do one for me because finances are pretty whack right here, right now. And she, participated with me via, video, a money spell. And it's too, as you're planting seeds for a new plant, or like you said, your money tree, when you plant that intention, and as it grows, you know, it's okay to say, as so does my, my prosperity, my abundance. But I think the point is like what you said is, but what if it dies? And that's the thing where you gotta get that out of the mindset too.
Absolutely.
You don't wanna put that in. I like the balance though. You're seeing that, just you're mindful that if something were to happen to the tree, that your finances are going to fail because of it. But that energy and that tree growing, that tree's going to be lending you that energy that it has, that its life force that it has to help you in the meantime.
You can't believe how big is now compared to what it was. It was just this little skinny thing that had been three bases. Yeah, it was a little bit larger than now, but it's huge.
It was good
No.
sized.
This whole thing here was no bigger than, see this leaf right here,
Yeah.
this little section? That's what this whole entire thing was when I found it broken off the main plant at my doctor's office. I brought it home. Now I kill mint. I kill pretty much everything. I was determined. I got soil, I plant, and now this guy, from being this tall
It's
and
beautiful.
having a tiny little head, it's humongous.
It's beautiful. Well done.
And
You should see
so-
this
I've
money
killed-
tree. It's
I've
beautiful.
killed
So
mint.
for me, now this is going to be now one of my energy guides. These are one of my teachers.
Cool.
And now this plant is going to assist me with new things that I'm learning. And I even kiss it. I love it, and I give it,
I love
Now my mom, she could grow anything from anything. Me, I kill most stuff, but that one was meant to grow for
It's
me. It was
definitely-
meant to be with me.
looking
Mhm.
beautiful.
Was there anything else you want to share before I pull up another item? And oh, hi, Willow.
No,
Thank you
go
for
right ahead.
coming.
You're doing great.
Okay. So like I was sharing, and I have an interesting story. So, back in 2011, as most of my followers know, subscribers know, I hate to say followers. It's just like,
I know
It
it's
just
kind of
sounds
creepy,
weird.
isn't it?
like
Subscribers.
subscribers.
I
Yeah.
agree. Followers sounds like you're some kind of weird guru or something.
Yeah, and I don't even like the word. Yeah. So, but back in 2011, a lot of things had been going terribly wrong for the prior 3 years, and I had ended up in the hospital from a suicide attempt. And a month or two after, I was assisting another teacher at one of our local. We have a cultural arts and center. The old high school was turned into the Niagara Arts and Cultural Center, where they offer classes, in art and studios for arts. They converted all the classrooms and stuff into
That's really
studios.
cool.
They have ceramics, jewelry, depending on who's present now to be able to. They hold art exhibits. And back then in 2011, Robert is a local jeweler, and he was making jewelry with a couple of his students, and he asked if I would like to make something. And I wanted to make something that kind of felt energy-wise, because I was grateful at that point for still being here. And so I went ahead and I did the design myself. He gave me the little sheets of metal to draw on and to saw and cut. And he soldered the pieces for me, and I chose the stone. And for me, that was this piece here. It's tarnished because it's brass, but I might actually let it just continue being what it is. Because it's like, oh, it's dark. It shouldn't be dark, but no, but that's where you're coming from when you were making that. And then that opal in the middle
It's a lovely
is the
opal.
light.
Mhm.
And so it feels like the spiral. The spiral has always been a very important symbol for me. And so I created this, and I know I must need to reconsecrate it, to cleanse it, because we do need to cleanse. And it's full moon coming up too, everybody. So make sure, crystals and things and stuff. Make sure if you have anything that you want cleansed by the light of the moon or through moon water. This Tuesday is going to, now until a couple days after Tuesday, is going to be a great time to do it, because that's when, the energy, is present. Of course, Tuesday is the strongest when it actually reaches itself.
How does that, do you know how an eclipse affects charging crystals and stuff under the moon?
I'm going to actually be researching that, because Ivana Intuitive and I, we do full moon and new moon readings now together every month. And so I will be doing that with her tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. So this evening, I'm going to be rewatching Sunset Gene from this afternoon, because her guest, Valerie from Illumination Portal, it's a new channel I hadn't heard of, but she does astrology, and she was talking about the lunar as I was getting ready, because I was in chat for just a little bit.
I have to go watch that.
I'm going to replay and watch that, and then I'm going to research so that on Tuesday, Ivana and I can share that with everybody. But yeah, the last time Ivana and I read for the new moon in Scorpio, it was a solar eclipse. And now the next reading we do together, it's a lunar eclipse. So that's a lot of
This is the last lunar eclipse like this for many years, apparently.
Until next year. Yeah. Oh, for many years.
Wow. I guess that you get the full coverage. I was reading something about it on Facebook today. What do you say, Chad?
Yeah,
you guys know more about that than we do. Well, pretty much everybody does.
I get kind of confused with astrology when people start adding numbers and planets and conjunct this and sextile that, and I'm just like houses and degrees. I'm like,
TMI,
okay.
TMI.
So that's why I like doing these with Ivana, because it's basic and then I'm learning.
Yeah.
And as I get knowledge, then I could share that with my subscribers and other readers. So that's why I said that's why I love the community, because we learn from each other.
Absolutely, we do.
So when I went to go put this on yesterday, it felt heavy. It's light, but the energy felt heavy. It felt heavy around my neck, like it was choking me almost.
Wow.
And it was like, I got to get this off. So I have to cleanse this, and this may be just something that I keep painting on a wall just as a reminder of what,
Or cleanse it, put it out under the moon and see what happens. Maybe you'll see that, maybe it'll lighten it up.
And so, great, now I've got the other one in here underneath the chair. So one of the things that I brought out, I don't know if it's necessarily would be well, for me, it's a talisman. I made a hand drum.
Oh, wow.
A few years back at the Niagara Arts and Cultural Center, and it's kind of hard. It might be hard to see.
No,
I did
see it very well. It's beautiful.
I did.
Is that burned in?
That's with fire burning. I have different symbols inside.
Lovely.
I also did this on the outside, and this is an actual deer hide skin, and it was a workshop, and it was a group of women. We helped each other create our drum because of all the pull, and we needed strong hands, able hands to hold things in place for us as we tied. And of course, while I was making it, what happened? One of my snaps broke. I was like, no, my drum, she's like, no, we got this. So a couple extra women, we all rallied around, and
love that community.
They fixed it for me.
It's beautiful.
And I haven't painted anything on it because there's still a little bit of deer fur on here. And deer is one of my animals, very important to me. And so, but yeah, that was something that I felt would be a great representation of a talisman.
Absolutely.
That beautiful feminine energy, Of course, when it gets humid here, it loses its tightness and you can't really play it. but because it's not very humid right now, I do have a nice little.
We're 24/7 humid. We have dehumidifiers throughout our entire house, and we're still at like
Yeah.
60-70% humidity.
Oh my
Emptying them every
gosh, yeah,
day.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, another one I have is from when I first went to Arizona in '93 on an exchange program to Flagstaff. And there was a woman in my painting class who is Navajo, and her husband is Hopi. And he did Kachina dolls. Oh, bless you.
Excuse me.
So
Just as I don't get
she
going.
invited me. They invited me for a weekend to go to Second Mesa. And on the way, I got to pick a ring. Well, we stopped at jewelers, and I bought a ring. It wasn't, but I was given a discount. But this is something that it's prayer and water, from what I understand the symbols.
Lovely.
And so, even though my fingers no longer fit my rings because they're so swollen, I still keep this, and it's a memory of that beautiful weekend because, back then there was no real knowledge whether or not I had any native or anything at all. I mean, it was unheard. It's not unheard of, but even back then, you didn't go on the reservation by yourself, especially if you're a white person. So to be invited by Jeanette and by her husband Bryson,
Beautiful.
to come and stay for a weekend on the Second Mesa was beautiful. And the home that I got to stay at, the woman was a well-known jeweler. Bryson's mom was very well known in the community for her jewelry, and the family had actually known Georgia O'Keeffe.
Wow.
Wow.
And I got to see personal images of her on their walls.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, so for me, that holds memories, energy of who I was. For me, a lot of these are like road markers.
Yes, sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
They remind me of who I was, where my life was at, what my dreams were, what my hopes were, what my aspirations
Totally
were.
get that.
Makes a lot
I
of
wear
sense.
this pink pearl necklace for every show, or almost every show. It's actually pink. It was
Oh, it
given to
is.
me by a dear friend from Hong Kong in England. She bought it in Hong Kong for one of my birthdays, and it just makes me smile whenever I wear it. And I think of Anne and all of our adventures together because we like to take trips together.
And she has what you would call a stiff upper lip and her straight back. There's
Yes.
nothing that scares that lady.
Stiff upper lip.
So if
Yeah.
you needed a little bit extra
Oh.
courage, this there.
You'll
Yep.
get it from her.
Yeah. It just
Awesome.
it makes me smile when I wear them. Who has pink pearls? I mean, why she thought of pink pearls? It was absolutely perfect, but I would never have imagined.
But pink is a color. I love how she chose pink, though, because pink is one of the colors of your heart chakra.
It is.
It's
And I mean,
a
she
color
bought
of
these-
friendship and for self-love as well.
These are a good 20 years old, probably 15,
Yeah.
20 years since I got them. And yeah, I don't think I was a pink person back then.
No, you weren't.
Oh, I never would have thought me pink. No, and I have pink stuff now. It's interesting.
Yes.
And also, too, being an artist, I did jewelry as well. So when you go and do whatever it is that you create, you're putting that energy.
Your
Into
energy
that
and
item.
love and bliss.
So this is going through my stuff. I came across this that I made a few years ago. I used to make pendulums. I still have one of my original pendulums
love
that I made.
What's that made out
They sold them at this. This is dichroic glass.
of? Correct.
And the bead is is vermeil. I think it's like 14 karat vermeil. And where you hold it is the yin yang symbol for balance. And so when I worked at
Perfect.
Crystal Magic and I was getting into a lot of the jewelry and the beading and everything, I would make the prayer beads. I would make ones, for specific goddesses. I would do one for Reiki. And over the years now, I'm noticing, and why it occurs to me at the last minute is that my artwork for me is a talisman as well, because I'm creating what I'm feeling inside and what spirit wants to co-create with me. and putting into that painting, and possibly whoever decides it's going to be a gift to or who's going to buy it is going to feel that energy. And when they hang it, they're going to see that and feel that energy. And it's that beautiful exchange.
Yes.
So for me, everything to me, I guess, is magical,
Mm-hmm.
is spiritual, intuitive. I had a couple people recently say, "Oh my goodness, your name is long," and I'm like, "Well, not really, but it actually fits, who I am, the intuitive arts, everything. All of us are intuitive, and so if like for me, picking out my stones, like I came across my orange calcite
Ooh, that's a
the other
nice
day.
piece, isn't it?
I love calcite. They're very soft. They got like a slightly waxy feel to them. They're really beautiful. And when I held this, it was just like, because of being color of your solar plexus, your seat of power, between your chakras, your creative, and your solar plexus is yellow. You were talking about the chakras yesterday. So, the colors work between the two. So when I was feeling that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep that near my table now when I read, because there are times when I feel like maybe my readings aren't as good as my fellow reader, or am I falling behind?
Oh no.
I'll see that, I'll pick it up, I'll feel that empowerment say,
Yes.
no, you got this, stand in your power, and power as in not in power over or egotistical, but just stand in that place of trust your intuition.
We all have
listen to
issues with that
creativity,
imposter syndrome. We
Yeah.
all have that imposter syndrome problem. It just,
You just don't think
So
you're
I have
good enough.
all different kinds of stones here now. So
Yeah.
beautiful. I
I
love
don't
that
know if
orange
anybody-
calcite.
I have the orange. I have green. I just love the feel. And okay, entertainment purposes only, everybody, because I'm talking a little bit about holistic healing and stuff. For me, I love the calcites in the rose quartz. Especially
Can somebody
if someone
please?
has like a very
Can somebody get that troll, please?
well. All I can do these days is laugh. It's like they got nothing else better to do with their lives. But anywho, for like a
He's
lot
gone.
of, and this is for
On
me.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you, warrior girl.
Woo woo, warrior girl.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that was deleted by Sharon Sipe. Thank you, Sharon Sipe and warrior girl.
Thank you.
And
We
also
appreciate
remember
it.
to report too as well. The reporting helps as well.
Absolutely.
So for a lot of like deep, painful, traumatic healing that needs to be done, I always go towards, or I recommend the calcite family in the rose quartz, because their energy is very soft.
Gentle.
It's very gentle. Sometimes a high vibration stone is what a person might need for something like that, but for
It'll be too
some
much.
others, it would be too much. So that's why I love the calcites. To me, they're very soft. They're very gentle. They're very caring. Well, yeah, they're very caring. They're very kind. I
Yeah,
love
that makes
the energy.
sense.
So if you have that in your area, that could be a talisman as well. You pick and say, okay, this here will help me have more self-confidence in myself. The pink would be perfect for self-love. I have self-love for myself. I accept who I am. When you need that reminder. The green, when it's like I'm abundant. My finances are going to be okay. I have more than enough. I'm grateful for what I already have. So little things like that.
Right.
You can walk through the woods, find a stick,
And the thing is, it's science based. It's science backed. If you believe in your talisman,
quantum
if
physics.
you believe what energy you've put in there, it works.
Yep.
And they talk about how athletes and their lucky charms, and When they have their lucky charms, they win more times than when they don't. So it's all backed by science. It's what you believe in, your intent, what your intention is.
Yeah. But then on the opposite side of that, though, is if one of those athletes should lose that lucky quarter or whatever,
Well,
how's
there's always
going
that
to affect
too.
them mentally? Exactly. So it's nice if they can keep that and keep positive. That's great. But to remember that in the end, it all comes from within
Inside.
ourselves and our connection with our higher power, whatever that would be.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been watching the comments, and it kind of sounds like, from what you're saying and what they're saying, these things are all dependent upon what you decide they are there
Your
for.
intent.
Your intent. Everything is dependent upon
That's the
your
power.
intent for it. Yes,
Mhm.
that's where its power comes from.
And
I love this.
one of
Show you
the
this. I think it's After Hours.
that's Willow. Yeah.
Willow, we have one next to
Oh
our
my goodness.
pool that I bet weighs 20 pounds, and it is as big as a 5-gallon bucket. It's huge, and it sits right next to our saltwater pool, and it feels so
Willow,
good.
look at this.
That's lovely.
This is a rose quartz. It's a flame.
It's lovely.
It's got a nice shape and shine.
Yeah,
From
my
Sedona.
rose quartz is huge, and I wouldn't think about slicing pieces off.
No, we get upset when it falls. Well, if it's got a crack that it falls by itself. We don't even like that. We want it all together.
I'm just taking a quick look here too, because I didn't know if there was any questions, but
I didn't see any
Those popped up.
questions so far, but lots of good comments
so-
out there.
Yeah.
now I don't have.
You want to try to show yours? This is really an interesting piece, and we tried to get a picture of it.
I can get up.
It looks like a Roman coin.
Let me see if I can go up close to the camera and see whether you can see it. I'll watch the screen.
Okay.
We'll see, because I found it when I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade, and I was told never.
And you
to
still
use
have it.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just moving forward. You can't see me.
To never lose it, but then that puts the fear too in your mind, though. And you don't
Okay,
want that
back up.
fear.
Back it up towards me. Towards me. Towards me. It's too big.
We tried. Sorry. But it's got
I got a better idea of what it is now.
it
So,
was a
yeah.
Grecian lady's head on one side, and the other side has that, like 2-eyed owl that's facing you with the letters AOP on it.
He
And
looks like Bo. What was his name? Bobo,
yeah, I know it's
the mechanical owl.
the mechanical owl.
Oh,
and,
Bobo from
Bobo.
Clash of the Titans.
Yeah,
I
it
It
love
looks
looks
like
like
that.
Bobo.
and I've had
Clash of the Titans, right?
several people look at it, and they've said they've seen one side on a coin, and they've seen the other side of the coin, but never together.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, the other side of the coin was flat
There's something very special. Where did you find it?
in the road.
Just in the road.
Yeah, in the
Right
ditch.
where you were supposed to find it.
Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I have not misplaced it. I mean, we know it's almost as old as I am, and I still have
Oh
it.
no, that's ancient. It's
No,
definitely like
I know.
an old Roman
we know
coin
it's
of
at
some
least that
sort.
old because I found it, and it's still. But
Pretty cool.
I won't lose.
So were you
I
able
hold on
to have it authenticated?
Hmm?
Were you able to have it authenticated?
I think I
Right.
can only do. I've done that where I've seen pictures of it, and some other people have said, "Yeah," and that's where they'd seen it on one side, and it was blank on the other side.
No, it hasn't been authenticated.
No, I need to go to a museum to do that. And I'm afraid
You wouldn't
Let
want to
out
leave
your
it with anybody.
I wouldn't
either.
want to leave it with anybody, and
Mhm.
I'm afraid it actually might be valuable or worth
Bubo.
nothing.
His name
Who
was
knows?
Bubo. Thank you, Gypsy T. I
Yeah,
knew
Bubo.
you'd know.
With the two great big guys.
Yeah. I loved him. I thought he was so cool.
I did too. I thought he
Yeah.
was very cool. So what else do you have? What other talismans do you have around? I
Oh.
kind of like that fairy Barbie in the background.
She's cute. I like her.
Okay, because I love Barbies. I collect. Well, when I was able to financially do it, I was collecting the special edition ones. And this was on sale when I was in Arizona, and she was only one of them, and she was a fairy Barbie, and she's got my colors in her.
She's
So,
beautiful.
the
Yeah.
beautiful
Love it.
reddish hair.
I didn't even know they
And
did
the very
fairy
long.
Barbies.
Yeah. Now, if I went to go find the rest of them, you'd be paying right out of the backside for them. So,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have at least
Yes, you are.
one of them. This here are a set of deer antlers that were my daddy's. I never liked it that he was a hunter. It broke my heart because I was connected with animals, especially deer. Um, but after I came back from Arizona and I reconnected with one of my cousins, I don't know how they had it, but she goes, my dad, my uncle had this, and she asked if I wanted it, and I said yes. Here is an actual, I don't want to take it too much and move everything, but I do have an actual deer skull that I found in the fields back over where I used to live. I have my turtle that I got in Sedona.
I love that. A snapping turtle
Little
head.
snapping turtle. Yeah. And when it comes to another thing about talismans and symbols, um, if we still have time, something I like to kind of bring up.
Sure.
Now,
Oh,
we know mostly in movies and stuff, when people see this, we know what they're going to say.
witch.
Now, but that's the sign of the devil. That's Satanism. But it's not. And what it is that these are each of the directions, the elements that make who we are. Earth, depending on how we start, air, earth, fire, water, and then the fifth element is spirit. Like, think of the movie The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
With Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich. And I loved how they picked a female to be the divine energy to connect them all. That was awesome.
With her,
was,
with her breath, like
Yeah.
it was like the Sophia.
So when people see this, automatically they're going to think, but this is where we have to kind of get past the mindset of, well, just because they see this, they're like, oh, then it's got to be evil. No, it's not this itself. It's not the symbol. It's the human intent. Again, your energy, what you put into it. And of course, it drives me nuts when I watch the video. I see the video games and the movies, and they're like, they show it upright, and they're like, well, this is the bad. Well, I hate saying bad or good, but one is, I'm just going to leave it at there, because there are some religions that do refer to themselves as witch, which they really shouldn't, but I will leave that for them, because that's their spirituality or whatever you want to call it. But for them, the upside down is for the connection with more of the underworld, dark nature. Let me rephrase that, dark nature, because we put so much stigma now on anything that's dark, that's negative. And it's like everything that's black or dark is not negative. It's shadow work. It's where we come from. Our mother's wombs, are dark. We live in the darkness. When we sleep at night, and it's during the night when we're sleeping that our body heals, we regenerate, and we have our dreams, and we connect with our guides and our loved ones. So as a race, we really need to start separating ourselves, because it's so commercial, like what Scott was saying. So many people need this and this and this, and they have to, and if they don't have this and this, then they have no power. It's all in you. And that's the beauty of talismans, is that it can be whatever it is that you need to at the moment. It could be a lifetime, like Heather had with her beautiful coin. It could be with your angel, your pearls. It could be, another person's faith that I don't believe in, but because I knew that she loved me, there was the love that was in there, and the love that I had for her. So
you have to be open
But yeah.
to different perspectives.
Right.
And if they don't agree, or if they might threaten your or your own, that's when you call in your higher power and your guides to keep you safe and protected. We all are here for a reason. We all have our paths, whether, and like people say, I wish that we could eradicate all evil, but if we do that, then we have no idea what good is, what love is, what, you know what I mean?
That's what
Yes,
Willow's
that's
just
what
saying.
Willow's saying.
Willow's just
Is that what
saying
she's-
without the dark appreciating the light is not possible. That's exactly right.
Exactly.
We have to understand both sides of the coin. I can't say the word.
Mhm. That's why even with dark stones, black is a good color for absorbing negative energy. People say, well, I've seen people use black candles in, dark magic and stuff. Well, also, you can use black candles to absorb negative energy,
All about
negative
intent.
influences, removing any of, so it's not the item itself, but it's what's in your heart and what you're willing to put into it.
The intent.
And yep. And then and at the end of the day, it's an item, beautiful, personal, yes. But like Scott Cunningham wants to remind us, everything comes from our connection to our own selves and our connection to our higher power.
That's right. And source energy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Woo! I'm sorry I haven't been able to keep up with chat.
No, that's
When
okay.
I
They're
talk,
having a
I
great
really
time
stay
talking.
focused.
We don't really have any questions, and it's been so much fun seeing what you have, what your talismans are,
And all the reasoning behind them
and the
is
reasoning
great.
behind it.
And they're joining in and sharing theirs, and that's
yeah.
great. So maybe later you'll be able to see what they joined in. We did add some of the things that they said, but I agree with Willow. Sacred geometry is extremely powerful and can be extremely difficult to get a whole grip on too.
Yeah.
That's what I found when I was looking at it. I'm going, whoa, okay.
There's so much
Yeah,
power in it, though.
Like that thing, people putting energy. That's why I really wish they would take the Ouija board game off the market.
The Ouija board off the market.
That's nothing. That's nothing to play with. Like this is exactly what Willow was saying. You have to understand how something works properly before you attempt to use it.
Absolutely.
And like any spirit board, I'm not saying they're all bad, but you really need to know what you're doing, remembering how to, close if you're going to open, how to protect. You know what I mean?
Yes, there's so many
exactly
things
she
that
says.
I had to learn on my own about channeling and protecting myself and creating a sacred space to work in. And the list is endless of the things that you really should know before you start dabbling.
Yeah.
Especially in something like a Ouija board where people just think it's nonsense and there's nothing, it's easy peasy. Blah, blah, blah. They don't realize you're talking to another dimension. You don't know what's out there.
You don't know what's coming
people are
through.
People are always starting things before they know what they're doing.
For me, with pendulum, I was actually concerned. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that, Heather?
I said, I'm sure I'm just like them. You start things before you realize what it really takes.
Yeah.
And as you get into
for a while,
okay.
Oops. And then, like for me, for a while with the pendulum, I was kind of concerned. I'm like, well, isn't that the same as a Ouija board because I'm inviting in? But then at the same time, it's like, no, I'm automatically saying, when I pick up my pen, I have several. I'm like, okay, I call on my protection. Saint Michael, he's my protector. He's my dude. He's always around me. I'm like, make sure that I am protecting. My energy is protected from any and all negative entities and or energies that may be around me or sent to me. And when it comes to my readings, make sure that I have a clear and have a clear connection to my higher self. I have other spirit guides that I ask, assistance for that too. But also to help me take my ego, help me to remove my ego from my questions and my influence. And because a lot of times so many fellow readers will just automatically, okay, what is, and it's just like, whoa, did you know what I mean? It's, you have to be very, have a ritual of being grounded, making sure your protections are in place, and making sure your questions are precise, and that's only coming from a place of source. So there will be some that will argue and say, no, pendulum is not anything different than Ouija. It's very possible. But for me, I know what I need to know to be able to use my pendulum safely, and what, my understanding and
Exactly.
experience
And
of
that's personal to
chords
each of
are.
us, what's important and what works for
Exactly.
us. You know,
Mhm.
it's very individual with how much. I have never been a ritual person. I'm becoming one more and more the older I get. But in the beginning, but it's ritual to me is about focusing my attention. Before
Mhm.
it
And
had such a
you don't have
religious
to.
connotation to me. I couldn't
Yeah,
deal with ritual. It was like, yeah.
gotcha.
But then
Mhm.
now it's about managing your focus, and that's important. And a ritual doesn't have, like you say, have to be any more than
Simply lighting a
lighting a
candle.
candle and saying, Michael, please protect me,
Yeah.
Or just stating your intention.
and stating your intention. Exactly. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be any more
I
than
mean,
that.
ritual, when I was younger, ritual was like, okay, got to call the quarters. I have to do this. I have to do it. And for a while, it was okay. But then when I ended up not enjoying doing it because I felt like, well, ooh, did I forget this? And then I
That's how
was
I
losing
felt.
that initial connection. So now for me, it's like I've taken, what, I guess maybe a 20, 15-year step back to really just examine what it is to me that's ritual. And a lot of times I'll just do it in my head.
Yeah.
If there's certain things that I want to do or say, but for me, most of the time it's just, saying, Michael, protect me, light. I ask Mother Mary to open my heart. Oh, and one of my other talismans that I wear now is my Mother Mary. She came with me. She's my mama goddess. She's one of my protectors. And when I go in to do any readings or my lives, she's next in line for me to ask her to, keep my heart open and compassionate and understanding for anybody that's in chat or questions that come my way. And I ask my spirit guides, to help me with, focusing on my intuition and helping me to better connect with spirit and my abilities. And, I make sure that everything is as in line as it should be, before I start.
Makes sense.
And sometimes I forget to ground afterwards. That's my bad habit. So more often than not, I make sure. It's like, okay, and thank them too for their protection and their guidance and coming in and assisting as well.
That's so important to
You
thank
don't
them.
want to take them advantage of them either.
No, you need to thank them.
Yes.
And remember, they learned from us too. I don't see how or understand it, but I do know that they learned from us. So it works both ways.
It's a two-way street.
It's reciprocal.
It
Yeah.
is. It is reciprocal.
It is.
But they like to be thanked as well, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, I guess
I keep saying, well, this.
it's 4:00.
Yeah.
My computer. I mean, yes, it's 4:00.
Yes, it's
Yeah, I forgot to
Yeah,
set
the
my
time
clock
changes
back.
got
I
us.
grabbed my
I
phone.
know this one says 5:00. I'm like, no, we didn't do that.
No, we
did
didn't do that.
Do you guys want to pull 3 more cards for what we need to know for the week, the rest of the weekend, or
Okay.
this coming week? And let's see what kind of energy we're going to have next week. We've got some important work going on out there.
Yeah. I know I'm nervous. Tomorrow, Linda G's coming to my
Oh,
channel.
congratulations. Have fun.
I am. I'm just going to take all the worry out and stuff, and I'm just going to kick back, grab my cup of tea, and say, hey, lady, what's up?
I'm sure she'll
Just go
respond
into it.
well to that.
Yes.
Chat room, thank you guys for showing up today. We certainly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the conversations. We certainly enjoyed seeing the things that you made. And
I hope my information was clear and concise enough for people.
I think so. Oh, I love this warrior girl. I'm going to put that up. Is that it?
Oh, yes. The candle. That's beautiful. And the energy that it burns is spirit. It goes in contact with spirit. energy creation.
Thank you, Warrior
matter.
Girl.
So yeah, very nice. Okay. Okay, I grabbed a different deck this time, and I just love this. I don't know if you ladies have seen it, but it's called the Sacred Forest
Ooh,
Oracle.
lovely.
I like those cards. Yes.
And so I picked 3, and so generosity, making sure to be kind not to others but to yourself as well. Especially on Tuesday, having to learn, being grounded. Remember, trying to have that compassion in your heart. Be generous to other people who may have different, viewpoints than we do. We also have the water spirit manifesting dreams.
Oh, and that
And of
otter.
course, with this full moon,
An otter.
yes.
Beautiful.
So manifesting your dreams, we got that full moon with the eclipse. A lot of, what was let go and released with the Scorpio, we're now going ahead and start working towards bringing and manifesting our dreams into place. And hopefully by the end of this week, start selling into more of a feeling of stability.
Yay.
Get that card up
I
there.
like
Sorry
those
about the glare.
cards.
But yeah, so you have, basically, 2 earths and a water. So remember to be, emotionally grounded this week.
Right.
Full moon, election day on the same time. Emotions are going to be running high already. Just remember to be grounded and be centered.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Kind to one
And
another.
those go with
Yeah.
my cards, because my card is the first one was commitment. We do need to make the commitments, and staying grounded is part of it. But we also need to keep a record, write about it, or do something creative, draw pictures about it, do something creative about it so that you're recording what you're doing. And above all, keep everything simple for simplicity, because otherwise you're going to get lost in everything you do. Keep it simple so that you keep going along with it. Okay?
Ooh, I love that.
Like that tree too, being grounded,
So-
being simple,
Yep.
staying grounded. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what time is your show tomorrow with Linda G?
Okay, Linda G will be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be 1 her time. She's over in California, so that would be PT time. So
Right.
1 p.m. then, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Oh,
Yep.
that sounds fun. And what else you've got going on during the week?
And after Linda, I'm hoping that my my StreamYard free hours are, I still have plenty left over.
Right.
Because I've been doing a lot of lives lately. I have Ivana and I will be doing the full moon readings and the lunar eclipse tomorrow evening at 7. I would typically do them on Tuesday as the day, but on Tuesday I'm going to be a guest on Tarot Stash.
Fun.
Basically asking Tarot, because he's doing Tarot the Stash Way. And I'm going to be the first guest in his series where we ask him questions that we have that we thought of or come across using the tarot. So he invited me to be on a guest. So I'm looking very much forward to that. And then at 7 p.m., Tangie's going to be doing the color Tangerine because that's her namesake.
All right.
Tangie heard her name. She was named Tangerine. So so we'll be doing the color orange or Tangerine.
Cool.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yes.
What are we doing
next couple days?
We're going to work on laughter.
We're going to work on laughter on Tuesday.
And after all the heaviness we've been having, laughter would be really, really good.
And we might really need it on Tuesday, come to think of it. It'll be beneficial.
Everything has been
stress.
so heavy and unexpected and in some cases shocking.
Yes.
So it's time to release.
That'll be fun. Yes. And then Friday, Sherry H is going to be on our show, Voices from the Swamp. She'll be on our show Friday. And I think, I don't know what Saturday's show is, but Sunday, I believe, is Terry's Tales. Terry Suzuki.
Oh,
Terry Suzuki. She's going to come on and tell her some of her tales.
Oh,
we love her story. So everybody in the chat room, thank you guys for being here today. We're going to say bye. Please be out there shining your light, sending your love, anywhere and
unconditional
everywhere.
love and unity consciousness to everybody. They all need it.
We all need it.
Yep.
Mother Nature needs
Oh,
it.
and I should
Mother
say,
Gaia.
include yourself in that.
Yes.
We need it too.
Be sure and spend time loving
Being
yourself.
ground self-love.
Heather, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
you for
so
having
much.
me,
Yay.
ladies.
I love your
you.
talismans. That was fun. And
Aw,
we'll say
thank
goodbye,
you.
everybody.
Have a great night.
Till next time, love you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.